the computer. Good day. I'm in my in my holiday outfit, we'll call it, because it was Sunday yesterday, man. So we gotta be humans. We gotta live our lives and enjoy some things. So my family a couple of years back, maybe last year, I think, we all got these onesies and they are comfy. So my son had one on. We took a trip to the grocery store rocking this yesterday. It's an actual onesie. Here we go. Ready? That's my onesie for today. Hands are all warm. That's like pajama onesies. I'm taking it. Hey, I'm taking it. So today we're talking about what's called the computer. And the computer is an interesting thing. So I'm actually writing a chapter in my book on this. It's actually written, but I want to give you kind of a precursor to it. You might have heard it somewhere else if you listen to me on podcasts, you watch enough of the content, but there's a concept that, man, I've really dug into that I think can really help you today if you tune into it. So, hey, from Norway, Brigada, hey, good morning to you. I got some people coming in from all over the world. Come back. So here's the thing I want to talk to you about. It's called the computer. Good morning, James West. So here's what happens. Imagine this. Imagine we have these computers right now. You have a phone, you have a computer, and all these different things that are running. And you might have heard this, but damn it, pay attention to it today because it's a little bit something different that'll give you a really good feel of kind of how things work. So in my computer, good morning, Mari. In my computer, I have India. We got India. Good morning. So we have these operating systems, right? So we have, imagine this hardware. The computer is the hardware. I wish I had like an iPad. Hold on. I think my iPad's up here by the teleprompter. My bad. So imagine having like a computer. Like I got my computer, my phone. And every once in a while on this computer, like if you think about it, how it runs is it has processing ability. Like my computer, it's sitting right here, has an ability to process. It's an actual processor and it runs. And if your computer ever got hot, Willie Betty, good morning. Good morning, Janae, Angela, Ryan, Diggs, good morning to you guys. Che, the goddess, hello, hello. So this computer runs, sometimes computer gets hot. Like, you know what I'm talking about, the computer, like it sits on your lap, and next thing you know, you have like that lap sweat. You're like, oh, I gotta get this computer off my lap because it's entirely too hot. It's because the processor starts running. As the processor's running, after a while, it gets warm, and we kind of like think, well, what do we do? And we kind of turn the computer off, or the computer, if it goes too hot, will shut down. The rest of the programs stop working. All that stuff sucks. You can't even open up the programs, right? Because the programs, the Google Chrome or the maybe PowerPoint, whatever you're running, those start working. Then you have the files you want to open. Maybe you want to open a file that is accessed by the program, but that doesn't work, right? And after a while, you're like, man, what do I do? So you call your friend. Your friend says, hey, man, you got to make some upgrades, right? Well, I don't feel like I'm going to upgrade the hardware right now because I don't have time or money or energy to burn it. Backers on the set. Good, my man. Isaac, how you doing, bro? There we go. You guys don't know about that. Backers on the set backers, LBs. So what we end up having to do is like figure out how do we make this computer run better. And so one thing we'll do is say, okay, well, we got to find a way to make things run smooth. We start getting updates also. This is big. Pay attention to this. You start getting these updates that pop into your screen. They say, hey, you got to update this system right now because, well, the system's not running. You say, no, Snooze, I don't want to deal with that right now. You say, hey, you gotta update this program so it'll work better. Not Snooze, I don't want to deal with that right now. I'm working on something. I don't have time to go in and download this new program and then upload the software. It's gonna take way too much time. I don't have time for that right now. I gotta get some things moving. So you keep on ticking away. You keep snoozing everything. After a while, all of a sudden, things stop working, right? The program stops, turning on. If it does come on, it's on for a minute. The computer runs hot like nothing's working. And you get frustrated. You go, oh, what do I got to do? What you call a friend. The friend says, hey, here's what you got to do, man. You got to upgrade that software. You got to upgrade that ability to process. You might need a new processor to get these things running. In fact, you really got to update the computer, man. You got to update all the software programs that keep telling you it needs an update. So eventually you go, all right. You go to your computer, you hit that button that says, okay, I'm going to update right now. Good morning, Nolan Owens. Good morning, Shuhail Shalik. Good morning. So you update all these different things. Next thing you know, it's like, all right, I sit back, I got to wait. And I got to watch my watch, and I got to sit it to downloads, and it takes forever. And then eventually what happens is the computer's downloaded. Now it updates. It uploads everything, and it starts uploading it smoother. And all of a sudden, sometimes with the same processor, you find there's some more operation, right? When it gets done updating, all of a sudden the computer runs a little bit smoother, right? It shows all this, that the programs go well, everything runs smooth. The programs that kept asking for updates, they get updated too. So everything's running smooth again. You get the best out of the computer, right? It's not running so hot, it's functioning, right? Sometimes you might go, okay, I really got to upgrade that processor. You might even buy a new computer at different times, right? This is always necessary. But sometimes computers can get to be too old, so they can't take the updates and things don't work very well. And all this stuff I want to tell you has a meaning for you today and this morning. It's not just me talking about computers. Here's how it works. In your life, you are like a flesh computer. Repeat this. You're like a flesh computer. And as I talk about this, I want you to sit back for a second and get a feel for how this makes sense. Because this is you. This is me, everybody. We are these computers with a processor. Our processor is in fact our brains. The actual physical processor. Now, if you think about what I mean by this from a physical standpoint, not the consciousness, the physical ability for your brain to process, neuroplasticity, can it learn? Do you get overwhelmed? What's your tipping point? What gets you to the point of overwhelm? Can you handle certain things that come along your path? And some people were not given hardship at a young enough age sometimes, or they ran from difficulty, so they never actually improved their brain. I mean, literally improve the functioning of the brain. What capacity can you handle? Can you focus? Can you handle things emotionally? Can you see certain situations or experience them without shutting yourself completely down? Like a computer, it can run hot. And if it runs hot like a computer, it slows down. Think about when you get overwhelmed and there's too much going on, you go, I can't handle this. Let me step away for a second. This is just too much. And I slow myself down. I step a little bit back, right? So the idea is like a lot of us have this physical inability to actually process things well. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with anybody. We just haven't gone through the process of applying the science of neuroplasticity to get to the point of functioning smooth. And then a lot of us wonder what happens in life when all of a sudden we have these programs that start messing up. In life, these programs are your health, your hobbies, your relationships, your career, your income, all these things that are the programs of your life. Like a computer, the computer's only use is to run the programs. Your only use as a human is to run the programs around your life, the joy, the people, the things that you do, right? What happens is these things start telling you, hey, I need an update. Your relationship says, hey, I need to kind of update the relationship. Maybe you got to be better, more communicative in the relationship. You have to be more compromising in the relationship. Maybe in career, business, bosses, hey, you got to start showing up to work on time. You got to start doing more work when you're here, function better, have more, self-starting mentality. You got to start doing things. The programs start giving you these updates and you say, nah, snooze, I don't want to hear that right now. I don't want to hear from my wife tell me I got to be better. I don't want to hear from my kids telling me I got to be a better dad. I don't want to hear my boss tell me I need to improve in some areas. Snooze all of that. I'm not trying to deal with that, right? And what happens is you might try to upgrade the hardware, like maybe you want to upgrade your screen or your computer, all these things around the peripherals. But even those aren't going to work if for some reason you don't focus on one thing that actually matters. Updating the operating system. Now, like a computer, we update that operating system. As things update, all of a sudden, things start working smooth again. Think about if you were to go back into your life and say, hey, who am I? How do I work? Here's the key about this flesh bag computer that you are. The consciousness that is you, your identity, it's kind of like my iOS or like my Microsoft Windows or on my MacBook, right? It's an operating system. And that operating system, it's the only thing that allows everything to function smooth in your life. So if you have the programs in your life, you have the processing ability, what allows it all to move smooth and operate is your identity. It's literally like the computer's software. It's your OS. It's your human OS. A buddy of mine calls it it's your selfware. And I love that he calls it that, selfware. It's what runs you. And what a lot of us are doing are struggling is saying, hey, why is it the programs of my life aren't functioning smooth? Why is it my relationship isn't going where it should be? Why am I learning all these detailed information pieces, but I can't get the most out of them? Those files that we talked about before, those files are all the information you keep consuming. You keep buying, you keep grabbing and putting it in your inbox and never reading, never finishing, executing on nothing. You get more information and more programs, but they don't even work with the actual different things. More software files, but no programs updating. So what we do as human beings, what I do, what you got to focus on doing in your life is saying, where can we go in and take a step back and say, all right, I got to work on the thing that's operating all of it. And here's what it is. If you think about when you were a kid, you started learning from the people around you, your teachers, preachers, coaches, all these people around you, what life was, what it meant, how it operated. This gave you a functioning operating system for how to handle situations, how to do things, how to respond, how to think, how to handle hardships, all these things. And we, for the most part, stopped at that point. We haven't at any point in time chosen to upgrade that operating system in our lives. So what we end up doing is running through life with all these problems taking place, getting more files, learning more stuff, and having no idea why none of it seems to be working, why the programs keep bogging down over and over. Like a computer that gets that spinning wheel of death, we get in our lives, we feel stuck and stagnant, we can't move. The idea is you got to go back and say, we're in 2020, almost 2021, and a lot of us are operating off of, Windows 2000. If you think about an OS, a 2001, we're operating off an older operating system that we haven't even thought about updating since we were kids. And what's up happening is now we go into this world trying to figure out why is it all the things I'm learning, all the files I'm learning, aren't helping the programs? Well, because you keep getting updates, you keep snoozing the updates. You haven't stopped long enough to go back and say, let me go ahead and download what I got to get downloaded. Let me figure out what's got to be figured out. And then how do I upload that into my life? How do I take the actions to upload that to make the system run smooth? And this morning, what I want you to do is grab for a second this thought of, quite possibly, if you want to have an amazing 2021, it's not always going to happen because you learned a new book thing. You went and read this thing. We all buy books. I got a bunch of them over here that are some aren't actually read. I got a bunch of networks and connections and all these different things that are around my life. I have all the things I might need. I've even upgraded part of how I handle stress, right? That processing power. But the question you got to ask yourself is, are you looking at the operating system that is you? Are you taking advantage of the opportunity to step in and say, how do I upgrade the one thing that if I shift that one thing, I change everything in my life? If you could take access to all the files you already got and utilize them to a T, all the information you already got and execute on it, you change the game right now. But you haven't got to the point of stepping into yourself and saying, I got to work on me. And no one likes doing that. Let's be honest. You don't really like me sitting here telling you like you got to upgrade your identity. It doesn't sound good. That might even sound like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Totally get it, right? Here's the thing. Whether you want to update it or not, it's already running. It is quite literally already running in your life. You can try to ignore it and act like it doesn't exist, but it does, and it runs your life. Or you can say, I'm going to step into a space and actually try to figure out how to make my life a little better by changing and upgrading that operating system. The system that is you, that runs these things in the background. And here's how it gets done. It's super simple. You just apply a new system. That's all it is. So you don't have to do guess around it. Apply a new system to how you handle things. Like apply a new system that you literally think about, how will I enter this world and have a new system for I run my life? How do I handle hardships? What big actions do I take? How do I build the habits? What are the specific habits you want to put in place that run your life? What are the reactions you'll have? Like literally, how will you react to situations? Because most people don't think about how they react to situations, but how do you react to situations in your life? And then what are the big drivers behind the scenes? We don't realize that sometimes we have drivers that really shouldn't be drivers for our lives. There are certain things that should not be giving us fuel. Like I'm honestly proponent. I'm not a big fan of people who get to the point of saying, I'm going to utilize, somebody else talking bad about me as fuel. I don't want to be driven by somebody else not believing in me personally, because the moment that they do believe in me, because I get things done, where's my drive, right? There's ways we have to look at what our drivers are. Maybe it should be your family. It should be your health. It should be the fact that you've put so much time and energy already into something and haven't got the return you wanted out of something. Maybe it's time for you to step in and say, I am ready to make a system upgrade. I'm ready to put a new system in my life that allows me to accomplish goals. If that's you, man, it's time. I'm telling you, there's no better time than 2021, because at the end of the day, we're all running into the same year. And some people, when the gun goes off and it's time to go to work, some people will be sitting there looking around wondering where everybody else just ran to. At the starting line, still stuck. Some people will be going and crossing that finish line because they took off and it was time to do so. So my challenge to you today, my challenge to you this week, and as we go into the last couple weeks of the year, is where are you looking to install a new system into your life and how you operate? Because you can't go back and do the exact same things that you did the last few years expecting all of a sudden have a change. You can't take new information, apply it with the same system the next year and get different. No, you need to operate different. Literally operate different in your life. And that's what I'm promising you can be done. So here's my thing, man. Go do that. If you need help with this, just so you know, this is my work. I talk about it like this because I was quite literally just going through and reading and writing all this in my book now. It's one of the chapters called Computer. Computer. And this is the thing that we roll through. So if you're just, if you are a person who's like, man, I really like the sound of this. This sounds amazing. This is what I do every day, all day long. Send me a message. I don't care where you send it. I got people on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Periscope over here, and I got Instagram. Send me a message that just says update. That's all we need, update. If you want to understand how to update this operating system that is you, send a message to me that says update, and I'll show you exactly how we do it. Because when you can apply a system like we do called the shift method into your life, this system allows you to start navigating things different and take more of what you already got and have the opportunity to access more than you even know how you already have in you. Like there's a ton running. If you just took the things that you already know and put a system behind them, a success system that allowed you to take advantage of them, to execute on them, to get more done, it'll honestly be the best thing you've done in your life, because you'll start seeing more things happen. The difference between the people who are successful and those who aren't is not the information. It is not the access to tools. A lot of people think it is. It's who you are with them. Because when you have the right ones in place, man, it all runs. Think about how many people you already know right now that are fairly successful, but don't have the intelligence you think that they should have. You're probably smarter than them. You probably have more experience than them. You probably have more insight than them in certain areas. But for some reason, they rock and roll. The problem does not lie in the information. It lies in the system that they run for their lives. So if you want to get at an unfair advantage, man, apply a better system. And that's what I've created in the shift method. So this morning I want to share with you because I've been writing on it. It's what I do every day. I know a lot of people don't always know what it is I do. They're like, oh, a happy guy on social media. No, we get to work, man. I'm a guy that I play in the NFL. So for me, it's all about how do I stick to things? I'm a consistency human. I'm an execution human, a planning person, and that's what I teach people. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope you guys have an amazing Monday. I'll see you guys on Wednesday also. But also, if you want to, go to identityshiftbook.com, pre-order the Identity Shift book I'm writing right now. This whole concept today came from that. But at the same exact time, what I want you to realize is if you're looking for an update of that operating system, you want to put a system into your life that allows you to take full advantage of all the opportunities sitting in front of you, then go message me the word update and I'll take care of you. So that's it. Take care. God bless you. I'll see you on Wednesday.